What's up, Wiz Nation? Today we're going to talk about Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma and where they rank in Bleacher Report's top 100 players this upcoming season. And we're going to answer a mailbag question concerning Kyle Kuzma. So we're going to talk about that and more next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again with my guy, the real Ed Oliver. Thanks, guys, for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Just visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. So, Bleacher Report put out the top 100 NBA players of this upcoming season, and looking at where Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma rank, Kyle Kuzma is number 77, Jordan Poole is number 76. Now, Chris Paul was actually ranked number 69, and Bradley Beal, that's right, the real deal Bradley Beal, he was ranked at number 34. So, looking at that, do you agree where Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole were ranked, and really Bradley Beal and Chris Paul? Or do you think we could probably switch them around? What do you think?
I like where Kyle Kuzma is at. He's at 77. Last year he was at 90, so he jumped up 13 spots. I think that's a good ranking for him. Just looking at the guys that he's above. He's above Keldon Johnson, above Brook Lopez, Jalen Green is definitely better than him, Nikola Vucevic, Alperen Sengun. But I think 77 is about right for Kyle Kuzma. He really improved. He had his career high in points, had a bunch of boards, had a career high in assists per game as well. And these are future rankings, so they're kind of projecting where they're going to be next year too. And I think Kyle Kuzma, he's going to get a lot of shots next year. Him and Jordan Poole are going to get a bunch of shots. They're going to have green lights. They're going to take a lot of shots. They're going to have the ball in the hands a lot. So I could see him around that range. I could see Kuzma. We're going to talk about stats later. I was going to say some stats of what I think he's going to average, but I think 77 is about right. They had Chet Holmgren above Kuzma. Chet Holmgren hasn't played a game. Sometimes when they put rookies in there, that's kind of what I don't like when they rate rookies really high. I get it. Chet Holmgren has a lot of potential. Same thing with Victor. Victor's like ranked 60th or something like that. That's I kind of stick my nose up with stuff like that, but I get it. Austin Reeves is above Kuz. I think it's a little debatable. Austin Reeves did have a good year. I get it. That's a little Derek White. Derek White's a good two-way player. Kind of looking at that a little side-eyed a little bit. Cam Johnson, I think he's a fine player too. Heroes is 66. I think I agree with that. Aaron Gordon had a good finals. Jared Allen was an all-star. So I agree with that too. Those are some of the players where I may look at a little side-eyed about ranking above Kuzma. Jordan Poole, he's ranked 70. He dropped kind of dramatically. He was at 56. He went down 20 spots. He went from 56 to 76. I think the media and the national media or Bleacher Report, ESPN, big sites like that are kind of looking at Jordan Poole, how he played in the playoffs, the whole Draymond Green thing, him going back and forth with coaches and players on the sideline, and just having that terrible playoff series against the Lakers. And I think they're kind of overrating how bad he was. And I think this is going to put a chip on Jordan Poole's shoulder to bounce back and to be kind of the leader of a team, the number one option of a team. So I think he's going to have a chance to prove himself to the national spotlight, how good of a player that he is. And that last year kind of having and people think he had a down year. He really didn't have a down year. He had 20 points a game. He averaged 25 points a game when Steph didn't play. He played a full season, got to the free throw line a lot, did a good job creating for others as well. So he still had a solid year, even though it wasn't as good as it was the year before. So him dropping 20 spots, I think that will give him a chip on the shoulder. CJ McCollum's above him at 75. Anthony Simmons at 74. I think they're very similar. I think that's kind of like a coin flip between Simons and Jordan Poole. I think Jordan Poole's a little bit better than Simons if I had to pick. And then Marcus Smart is above Jordan Poole. Michael Porter Jr. is above Jordan Poole. Austin Reeves, once again, is another guy I just look at. I don't agree with him being above Jordan Poole. Derek White, I get it. Two-way player, had a really good playoff series. Cam Johnson, kind of debatable. Tyler Hero's above Jordan Poole. I think that's really debatable too. So other than that, Victor, once again, the rookie, Rudy Gobert is above him. Klay Thompson's above Jordan Poole. I agree with that. Fred VanVleet's above Jordan Poole. Josh Giddey's above Jordan Poole. Josh Giddey had a heck of a year last year, so I get it. They're projecting. So kind of went on a tangent there, but I think Kuzma's appropriately rated. I think Jordan Poole, because of the bad playoff series and the whole narrative last year with him kind of going back and forth with players and whatnot, the whole Draymond Green situation. And a lot of people are blaming Jordan Poole for the Warriors not winning last year. So I'm not surprised that they took him down. They bumped him down 20 spots.
Yeah, but there's people that are saying that don't play on that team. So
right, yeah, Andre Iguodala say good things. Klay Thompson say good things. Yeah.
So I mean, I agree with you. I think they're kind of where they should be, but I mean, you know how it is, man. These rankings are just like really all-star votes, popularity contests. Now, every year Zion Williamson gets high marks on the ranking list, and every year he's hurt. Now I get it. Zion's starting to look a little swole these days, man. He looks like he's in shape. He finally put the Mountain Dew down, so we'll see if he earns that spot. But like you said, are there some guys that could be a little lower than him? Yeah, I agree. Like you said, Cam Johnson, Derek White, defensive wise, I see that. But Jordan Poole, if you saw how he contributed, man, he was running point. He averaged 20. I mean, he didn't have a bad year. I mean, I wish a bad year was 20 points a game. I'm just saying, like, so I don't really put too much into rankings, because very often than not, they turn into popularity contests. Your star guys, we say it every year. Your guys that are hurt all the time, but they have star power. So they always find their way in the top of the list. Kawhi Leonard. Not against Kawhi, but he's always hurt. Paul George. There's always guys. Zion Williamson's another one. Always hurt, but they always get these spots high up in the list. So I'm not going to put too much into it. And like I said, it's the media that's really kicking stuff up about this whole Draymond Green thing, because Stephen Curry gave him high marks. Klay Thompson gave him high marks. I mean, Iguodala gave him high marks. I mean, even in small little ways, even Draymond gave him his props. I mean, they're just trying to stir stuff up. So I definitely think this is a good thing for both of them, because they're going to come into the season with a chip on their shoulder, man. Because definitely Jordan Poole, because this is his first opportunity to kind of lead a team, a young up-and-coming team like the Wizards, where, they get the assets they need and really develop a lot of these young guys. This is going to be a sneaky, really young, good team in the next 2 to 3 years, man. I'm just saying, so yeah, I agree with you. They're kind of where they need to be. Looking at the other two people, Chris Paul, I think his ranking kind of has to do with fit, because he's more of a floor general. So he's going to have a lot of options to dish up ball to a lot of shooters, man. So he's kind of higher because of that. And Bradley Beal, we were just talking about how his fit is, but we ain't going to talk much about him because he is no longer on the team. So, yeah, like you said, Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, yeah, I agree with it. I think they're right where they need to be. But I think, like I said earlier, man, lists like this can be a good thing, because it's going to give him a chip on the shoulder, man. You best believe, I'm going to say right before we move on, man, Jordan Poole is about to light the league on fire, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to tell you, he's going to come out, he's going to show out this year, because he's got a giant chip on the shoulder. And I'm telling you, this brother hasn't even hit his prime yet. So, whether he's a future point guard for the Wizards, where some people do believe he is, or whether he's a 2-guard, he's definitely part of the foundation moving forward for this Washington Wizards franchise, man. So, yeah, the jury's still out, but he's definitely going to show out, man. And I definitely expect that next year he better be higher on that list. So, we're going to go ahead and move on. We got a good question from a listener, so we're going to answer that next. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And mind you, the Commanders play on Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. So, look, it already started, baby. So let's get it. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use, and you can bet on anything from spreads to player props. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season with an offer that you don't want to miss. FanDuel.com, official partner of the National Football League. So let's get into it. This question is from Twitter, or my bad, X. And it's from Micaiah at Sadly a Wizard Fan. And the question is, we all expect 25 to 30 points a game from Jordan Poole. But what do you guys expect from Kyle Kuzma statistically? Can he average 20, or he averaged 21 points last year? So, really good question. What do you think, E? I mean, obviously Jordan Poole's going to come in, and I definitely believe that he's going to average around 25. But do you see similar production from Kyle Kuzma?
Yeah, I definitely could. And one more thing I saw about the ranking is Jeremy Grant's at 56. He's about 22 spots above Kyle Kuzma. I don't know if I agree with that. And I love Jeremy Grant, DMV guy from PG County, Maryland. Went to high school in PG County, Maryland for sure. So I love Jeremy Grant's game, but I don't know if he's 21 spots. But once again, I'll let the rankings go because it is more of just it's more of somewhat a popularity contest and just kind of like projecting. Like Cade Cunningham is ranked super, super high. Like he's in the 30s. And I like Cade, but he's barely played here and there. Miles Turner is a good player. He's at 56. So, but yeah, I'll move on from the player rankings. Now back to the stat projections. Yeah, he's going to get a lot of volume. I think but him and Jordan Poole, I could see either one averaging 23, 24, 25 points a game. I could see Jordan. I know the question's not about Jordan Poole, but I can see Jordan Poole averaging 25, 26 points a game. I could see Kyle Kuzma averaging 25 points a game. He's going to get a lot of volume, a lot of shots. They got a pass first point guard in Tyus Jones who's going to be looking for these guys. No Bradley Beal, no Porzingis. So the offense is going to be ran through Kyle Kuzma. It's going to be ran through Jordan Poole. Kyle Kuzma last year, and post-game pressures were saying he wanted the offense ran through him. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities for that, where he's going to be bringing the ball up. Late game situations, the ball will be going to, guess who, Jordan Poole or Kyle Kuzma. It's not going to be Bradley Beal isolation at the end of the game. It's going to be Jordan Poole. Knowing Wes, he probably will just do isolation with Jordan Poole or isolation with Kyle Kuzma at the end of the games, going down in the fourth quarter. So, and they're going to be relied heavily on. Both these guys are going to be relied on to score and manufacture baskets. And if they push the pace this year too, that will be good for Kyle Kuzma scoring wise. He's a guy that wants to push the pace. Jordan Poole wants to run. Tyus Jones, he's a guy that's capable of pushing the pace. Not the fastest point guard in the world, but of course he's capable of pushing the pace and looking up for guys who are running the floor. So if Wes does decide to actually push the pace this year and try to run a faster pace modern day NBA offense, then I think Kyle Kuzma's points certainly will go up. But with him, it's just about efficiency and shot selection. Yes, Kyle Kuzma can go out there and score 30 points, but how many shots is it going to take to get to do it? Now, rebounding wise, I think, because the question asked about all his stats, right?
I believe in scoring average.
Just scoring. Okay, if scoring, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I can see him averaging 23. He just averaged 21, so I can see him. I would guess if I had to bet on FanDuel, I would bet on him averaging 23 points a game.
I agree, but I'm gonna add another dynamic to it. Definitely Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma are going to score. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: if you look at this roster construction, defenses are going to, they're going to look. The news is going to come out. These two are going to be volume scorers, so defense is going to center on them. So you could definitely see them averaging 25, 20. But I definitely think that you got to find an option too to help them out, because if Kyle Kuzma has a bad night, if both of them have a bad night, who's those guys going to step up? And I think that's why you got to look at a few people, Corey Kispert and Denny Avdia. They definitely have to be two that I think they can benefit off of them being volume scorers, because look, defense is going to center around Kuzma. I mean, look, you can drop 25 on people so many times. Look, defense is going to start being tough on you. And I think that everybody, so who steps up? Because, I don't think you got to have a couple more guys to step up. But looking at Kyle Kuzma, man, look at his size, man. I mean, he can finish anytime. I mean, he can finish at 6'10". He drives the lane. Efficiency, I get it. Yeah, he's going to get knocks for efficiency because he can definitely let the ball fly. But he can score. He can utilize his frame. There's a reason they call him Clutch Kuz, man. I mean, the funniest thing to me is this: when he hit that shot against the Pistons, and he's from Flint, Michigan, and he told the crowd that pretty much, look, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. I mean, that was just a big moment for me. I mean, he can hit those tough shots. Jordan Poole. So, they're definitely going to get their money, man. They're definitely going to get their points. But to me, you got to have more than two guys to be those scorers, man, because defenses are going to start centering on those two, man. So I think this is, looking at that, you got to look at a couple guys. Who are those guys who can step up? And I think right now is the best time of any, because, Tyus, he's going to be that floor general. Now, he can score, but he's not, is he really a third option? I think this is the time for Denny Avdia to be that third option. I think right now is the time for him to be that third option. So, that's where I'm at with it, man.
Yeah, and Kyle Kuzma, like you said too, he's a 6'10" guy. He can get downhill. He can fill up. When he gets hot, he gets hot. Looking at some of the games last year, he had 40 points against the Knicks on January 13th. We lost that game. That's where Julius Randle had a really good game too. The Dallas Mavericks, he had 36 and hit a bunch of threes that game. He had 5 threes that game. He had 11 boards. He had 35 points against the Clippers and 12 boards. He had 33 against Sacramento and 7 boards. 33 points against Portland, 33 against Houston, 33 against the Heat, 32 against Sacramento. So, you get the point. He's had some big games. He had 30 points in both Mavericks games this year. I think that's because he really wanted to get at Dinwiddie. So he had 30 points in both those games, 29 against Phoenix, 28 against the Hawks. So that's just an example of what he can do, what he's capable of doing. He's capable of filling up, and Jordan Poole can do the same. So I definitely see a couple games where Kyle Kuzma will have 30 points or is capable of putting up 40 points in a game.
Oh, I totally agree. Look, I agree that they're definitely going to score in volume, man. But my thing is this, and I think this is the biggest thing for me, is that, he can score, but efficiency, man. When defense is starting to be tough on him, they're going to force him to take those low percentage shots, man. And his, the name of the game for him, one of the few negative things about Kyle Kuzma is his efficiency. So defense starts sitting on him. I'm asking you that question real quick before we move on, man. I mean, who's the third scorer? I mean, who, in your eyes, who are these next options needed to step up when defenses finally figure out Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma?
Right. That's a good question that we could probably have a whole episode on. We probably will continue as an episode. I'll quickly say the efficiency thing is huge because we've seen them put up big numbers, but how many shots does it take to get there? And there's some times where guys are open, but he is just taking heat check shots or he's taking threes, when there's 20 seconds left on the shot clock, like a sidestep 3 or a step back 3. So, yes, when he's hot, it's falling. But when it's not, you got to get into the flow of the game and look for other guys, try to get Denny involved, try to get other teams. And he does that too. Makes nice lob passes to Gafford, makes nice passes to other guys, open looks, Corey Kispert. But if I had to answer, the third scorer, it's between Tyus and Corey at this point.
Okay. I can rock with it. So we're going to go ahead and end it there. Definitely appreciate you guys. And definitely let us know what you guys think, man. How many points do you guys think that Kyle Kuzma is going to average next year? Because you best believe Jordan Poole going to get that 25. So definitely let us know, man. So, like, subscribe, hit that notification button, let you guys know when we drop these videos, man. 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. And the regular season is getting closer, man. So definitely appreciate you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. Every day. Next week, we're going to answer that important question. Who is the third scorer on this team? We're also going to look at some candidates at the center position because we both believe that they need depth at the center position. So we got a lot of content coming up, gearing up towards training camp. So definitely rock with your boys, man. But definitely appreciate you guys showing up, man. So everybody have a good weekend. Hail to the Wizards and peace. See you guys later.